The fourth week of New Babylon was largely dominated by a singular defining moment, the community's first trial. This trial marked the beginning of a legal precedent for the future governance and catalyzed significant changes in leadership structure. Precedent for the future and catalyzed significant changes in leadership structure. Okay. The trial conveyed following the discovery that a member of New Babylon had engaged in cannibalism, yet the greater controversy lay not in the crime itself, but in the numerous members who had known of it and remained silent, including the historian. The proceedings brought to the stand not only the direct perpetrator, but also the accused of complicity. The testimonies were heard by a newly appointed judge, El Queenie, and Grand Elder Lang. Testimonies revealed differing justifications. Some claimed cowardice, others claimed to believe that the acts were an accepted norm amongst the community and its leaders. Several of the accused attempted to mitigate their own culpability by casting shadows of doubt upon other Babylonians who they believed had not stepped forward to take due accountability. Babylonians who they had believed not stepped forward to take due accountability. I don't know if I like the way that's worded. Like, listen, we don't gotta be too smart, you know what I mean? Like, we can have like a dumb book, you know? We're streamers, guys. We're all, you know, retards. The verdicts varied. Some were spared punishment as they were found to have reported their knowledge through proper channels. Others were fined by Bellari and placed in the shame pit to reflect upon their actions. Oh my God, did we make sure everybody sat in the shame pit? I hope we did. I hope we did that, because I completely forgot. The perpetrator himself was temporarily exiled. His return depended on the mandated therapy he would receive from fellow Babylonian Andy Coots. The hell was that? The trial's outcome not only set out a basis for legal justice, but also triggered a structural reform. Grand Elder Lang dissolved the elder system, citing the decision not as a lack of faith in the system itself, but to deter from its exploitation as a shield against accountability. With the leadership no longer split amongst separate factions, he consolidated authority into his own role. The shift marked a decisive this might need to be axed, because the reality is we haven't made a structure yet. Or I guess we could keep it and then you add in the next book that we changed it. But I don't even know if it's going to be a more centralized, like, we don't actually know what this is going to be yet, right? The fourth week's progress extended beyond legal and structural adjustments. Uniforms were distributed to all Babylonians with the decree that they must be adorned at all times. This displayed a new standard of unity and identity. The fourth week's progress extended beyond legal and structural adjustments. Uniforms were distributed to all Babylonians with the decree that they must be adorned at all times. This displayed a new standard for unity and identity. Father Sebas delivered sermons touching on the challenges the community faced throughout the week. He highlighted the importance of the new uniforms, not only stressing the care in which they must be treated, but the significance they held as New Babylon progressed into the future. He urged the Babylonians to conduct themselves with dignity as their every action would now reflect upon New Babylon. See what this is always. I mean, I guess it's fine to put that there. Their actions always reflected, whatever. Drawing from the trial, accountability became a central theme. He called for community members to take responsibility for their actions, but to also speak out against any observed wrongdoings. He warned that the silence was simply another form of complicity. What do I think about this so far? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, it's like we need to find a balance with the history books of it feel like I'm in a story but also learning history, and maybe we pushed CJ into too much history. I just feel like I'm not envisioning a story in my mind while I'm reading this, you know. The week also saw heightened security measures after numerous threats from the outside prompted concern. The security team set forth a scale to better communicate the level of threat present against New Babylon at any given time. The 6-tiered system ranged from 1 no threat to 6 evacuation. To prepare residents, the security team conducted educational briefings and performed the community's first evacuation drill. I don't even know if I care about that in the book. Despite the more serious events throughout the week, moments of celebration also emerged with New Babylon. The Merchants Guild reached a milestone by completing its 100th contract. A friendly spirited fishing competition took place, and the crew mechanics completed a new invention they entitled the Armadillo. The first trial was a critical moment for New Babylon. The community faced its first major test of justice, challenging the society to form the foundations of a functioning legal system. They reinforced the Babylonian founding principle of unity through uniforms, community building activities, and structural reform. Wait, what? Why did we circle back to this here? What does that say? What does that say? Nabu's Nook? Is this the logo? Ooh, I like that. A little logo now for each book. Okay. I mean, the history itself is like perfect, right? I'm wondering if I wanted to read more, a little bit more like a story than like a report. This feels like this is like a report, but is that a bad thing? See, like, look at the opening of book 1, right? Far in the north, on the edge of the forest, mountain and sea rose New Babylon with a singular goal: self-sufficiency. Like, even that opening is like, oh shit, I'm going into something. And then this book is already like, oh, the 4th week of New Babylon. It's already like almost starts like a report to me. Okay, I think this needs to read more like a story and less like a weekly report.
Or like a story, less like a report.
Yeah, like even like the starting of like this book, right? It's like, oh, the 4th week of New Babylon. Like that to me already feels like I'm reading like a recap book.
Yeah, I mean, this book definitely was more factual than anything else. I think I was very careful writing this book, so I was worried.
Well, it should be factual no matter what.
Yes, of course. I was just worried I was going to end up putting some sort of bias in it, and I was really careful about that for this book specifically because, you know, I was on trial and a lot of it was talking about trial, but I get what you're saying. Like, it is more just, this is what happened, and not really, like, I didn't embellish it much in terms of making it, I don't know, have any imagery or anything. I think I was just very ultra careful with this one.
I think it like it needs to read like a story while it's history. You want you want to attract like a random on the streets to read this, right? Like if a guy's like reading like a weekly report, he's likely to be like, oh fuck this, I don't care. Versus like a story, he feels like he's reading the next chapter of every story. But you kind of start really strong with the with like the first book, for example. Like even the opening of the first book is, you know, far in the north, on the edge of the forest, mountain, and sea, rose New Babylon with a singular goal: self-sufficiency. Even that opening is already, oh, okay, I'm reading a story. And then this book, you know, the 4th week of New Babylon. That to me is like, okay, I'm getting a report of like what happened in the 4th week.
Okay.
And even then,
yeah, I see what
you know,
mean.
sometimes weeks. How do I word this? You know, sometimes, you know, a week in the history books could also feel like months, you know? Time moves weird sometimes in Los Santos. So.
Yeah, I think I kind of been slowly going more towards very much like historical, even though like the first books are historical, but less so trying to make it enjoyable to read, and I gotta balance that a bit more.
Yeah, like even like Sebas, like his big moment like in the court or in the trial, I'm surprised wasn't highlighted here, you know, because that was like a big moment for like New Babylon, like the speech he gave to, you know, make everybody lock the fuck in, and how we should care about the things going on here, and how we should take it seriously. Remember that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, if you don't remember it, and then it's all good.
No,
it is what it is. It's a lot you're always gonna have to absorb and remember, right?
I remember it. It's just, once again,
Yeah,
like,
that's like, I feel like that's like a very important, you know, like moment.
I was really trying to put them to the side for that.
So what'd you say? Sorry.
I said my feelings on that whole situation, I was really trying to put it to the side, and I think I got stuck in that with being like, okay, let me just put down facts, and then I kind of forgot to make a story out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. It's totally fine. I just think it needs to read more like a story. I think also highlighting like the important moments. I don't give a fuck about securities in like threat level system personally.
Isn't that like a big historical step?
That we have like 1 through 4 like threat level. I mean, to me, it's not really. Like, who gives a fuck about that?
We had a whole drill where we all left camp and went out into the woods.
See, I didn't know that. Not in the history book.
Yeah, I just said evacuation drill. I didn't specify. Okay. All right.
So the balance here is like, I guess not having you fucking writing shit down 24/7, but even that, like, I would have been like, oh, that we went out, you know, one fucking late night, we went out into the fucking forest with the security to learn these fucking crazy drills, whatever. Like, you kind of embellished that entire situation, and then now all of a sudden that 1 through level 6 threat shit means more to me, right?
Yes. Okay, I can make it more of a story.
Yeah, I think it's too like it feels too edited. Like, feel free to be a little loose with it, you know? Like, you can be loose and creative and make it sound more interesting while being unbiased and factual. Like, it's very easy. Well, it's not easy, but it's very easy to be aware if you're doing one or the other.